Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to discuss the issue of reconciling certain responses from dogs. And this plays into understanding in terms of the current state of the relationship, in terms of where you're at. Okay, again, I talk about behavioral issues, and I link this to the parenting example, which is extremely helpful. Okay, when you're looking to understand why it is that people really struggle, okay, with moving forward with changing dogs, in terms of understanding the role of influence, okay, by way of process. I talk about why it's necessary at the beginning. Influence being an active agent, okay, through how you're interacting with your dog, interaction-based methodology, and how that plays into this whole thing about a dog's reaction, a dog's response to influence. And this goes into, okay, when you get people talking about stress signals, okay, from a dog that is having a certain response when you're interacting, again, based on the current state of the relationship. And one of the examples I use, which be extremely helpful to really think about, tying this into the parenting example, when you're trying to understand responses from dogs, okay, why dogs respond a certain way when influence is an active agent, okay? And the example I use is the ice cream truck, okay, example, with a parent and an already selfish child, okay? So you can kind of imagine, picture yourself as a casual observer, okay, kind of watching a interaction between a parent and a child outside the ice cream truck. Okay, child's getting an ice cream, and suddenly the child is having a major fit, okay, rolling around on the floor, screaming and yelling at the parent, all upset, just totally out of control. And the parent's standing there, and what happened was the child didn't get the sprinkles on their ice cream. But they're having this tremendous temper tantrum and fit, and the parent's just saying the word no, and you're watching this, and based again, because really line this stuff up, you're looking at the reaction, but then you're trying to reconcile the response to what happened, and you're trying to line it up, and you're making an assumption that the parent must have did something, must have hit the child to line up that reaction, because you're trying to make sense of, okay, that I got that reaction, and something must have went down to cause that reaction, to reconcile, to correspond, to line up that response to kind of cause and effect, that type of a thing. But the cause problem here is the fact that you're not reconciled to the current state of the relationship. Okay, in terms of the effect part, you're looking at things from a certain perspective, but you don't have any depth. You don't have insight into, in terms of lining it up properly, because you're not actually reconciled to the current state of the relationship. You don't know what a spoiled brat that kid really is. And so you're just going off the reaction part, and now link this up to this thing about stress, the stress of a dog, or the response of dogs. Okay, and you look at how it is that people get all upset, and they assume things, right, but they're going just by the response side of things. They're not reconciled to the relationship, current state relationship, because they're not even connecting the dots properly. Okay, they're not. There's no depth at all. And this is exactly what's going on in the dog training world. It's no different at all. So again, understand that whenever you hear anyone talking about, dog giving off stress signals, this is exactly where this is coming from. Because they're, number one, they're following a path of bribery to begin with. Their alternative, understand, their way to deal with that is to use a motivator, use a treat, use something to gain agreeableness, to get the dog to respond, not considering that's not the answer. That's the permissive dynamic. That's taking a whole different path, which leads people into not fixing anything, It leads people into calming the water, so to speak, in that moment, a response. But in terms of the relationship side of things, not actually fixing the relationship. Do you understand? That'd be like the parent caving into the child, say, "Oh, well, you didn't get the sprinkles, but I'm gonna get, I'm getting the chocolate syrup right over there." Like you have to understand what's going on here. You have to reconcile the relationship. I talk about the role of influence. I talk about it being an active agent and why. Okay, coming out on the other side of a process in terms of truly changing perceptions the right way. Once a dog's gained control, it changes everything. Just like once a child becomes selfish, it changes everything with the path that you take using certain motivators. So again, I encourage people to really think about that. It's a big deal. Okay, to get what I'm saying is a big deal, but you have to be able to step back from stuff. You got to ask the right questions. You got to have the experience. Okay, this is where I can tell people this through this system, having the insight, the ability to connect dots that way. But you got to challenge appearances. Okay, you got to reconcile the response properly by way of relationship. Thanks for watching.